No, man, I love when, someone would try to, someone would come up to you and try to talk to you, and you're just like, yeah. And you're really like you could tell they don't really have the best intention, and you're just like, yeah, man, yeah, cool. And then you go about your business. I would just love watching you do that. But
I asked you a question. I was trying to look at the teammate beside me. What did he say?
Yeah.
Oh.
Welcome to me casa, make yourself at home, do your do. Welcome to my pad, this your lab, go create your move.
This episode is brought to you by Subway. What's good, everybody? Welcome to 99 Miles Per Hour. I'm your host, Percy Garner, and I'm excited for today. We got a special guest. I know I always say that, but this one literally is special. Haven't seen him in a while. This is great to be catching up. But before we get to our guest, I just want to talk about some things I got going on. So we got the new merch store. Like, we've already got our first sale. We need people to get in there. We got some new designs. We still got the old, founders pack, if you want to call it that, with the push and the 99 miles per hour logo. But then we got some new stuff in there. So go check that out. That's percygunner.com. Super easy. And then obviously I've changed it up a little bit. So the proceeds from my merch store goes to not just Dover students. So we're going to incorporate other schools in Tuscarawas County. I know, I'm sorry, Dover, but we got to be fair to everybody. So that scholarship fund will be open to other schools, even Philly. Sorry. But the thing I really want to plug here is, my pitching tips. So I've made a new playlist on YouTube, and I've got 3 videos on there right now where we're talking about pitching routines, stop throwing curveballs, 10, 11, 12-year-olds. You don't need them. Learn how to throw a fastball. And then also the other video we have, and guys, you guys got to compliment my quality. I got it. I've been trying to become this YouTuber, and I need some comments down there talking about how good my stuff looks. All right. But anyways, I also have to mention this episode is brought to you by Subway and the Fitzgerald family. Thank you for making this podcast possible. And yes, I will be in there getting a sub from you guys tomorrow. So, all right, here we go. So this gentleman we got coming to the stage. I'm gonna start saying that, even though he's not, I thought he was going to come here. If he really loved me, he would have flew from Canada. But anyways, so we got this gentleman. He's Canadian, obviously, just said that. He was drafted by the Seattle Mariners in 2006 MLB draft, traded to the Phillies. He was mentioned in the trade, I think, with some other 2 guys, Cliff Lee and Roy Halladay. I don't know who they are, but rest in peace. We have been friends, teammates, roommates, and now he's giving back to his community in a similar manner that I am, but he's also got a extra dynamic to it, and he's showing how hearing loss has affected his career and his life. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Tyson Gillies. How are we doing, Tyson?
I'm stoked to be here. Obviously, just to let everybody know, Percy and I go way back. Probably one of my favorite teammates ever. And yeah, we lived together too, and we had such a good time, and nothing but laughs and nothing but jokes.
Yep. And we're a little loud. Yeah, we're a little loud. We got noise complaints, called us a couple times playing the NHL video game. It gets a little hectic.
Yeah, especially me with the noise complaints. You'll know soon enough.
Oh, man, it's so good catching up with you, man. And I'm just excited to have you on here. I'm glad that you reached out. I feel like I should have reached out, but it doesn't matter how you got here. All that matters is that you're here. So there's a few things I want to talk about and get into the nitty gritty of your baseball career and, how the hearing impairment has, obviously affected your career in one way or another. But before we get into that, I heard you got an inspirational speech coming up, which, I give speeches. So I'm like, all right, that's awesome to see Tyson give speeches, because I think your personality is amazing. You're, good character guy. You always play baseball hard. So I'm assuming you're not lazy, and that's why we got to squeeze in this podcast, because you got so much going on. But you got a big speech coming up. Can you talk about that real quick a little bit?
Yeah, I'll be heading to San Antonio, Texas, to do a speech for the Aid to Silent Gala. And I'm super excited for it. I mean, it will be my first time speaking in front of an amazing group of people. I think up to north of 700 people. So it'll be probably the biggest speech I've ever given, and to be a keynote speaker amongst such an amazing organization and what they've done for the hearing community all over. There's going to be so many amazing people, hearing professionals there. And yeah, just going to tell my story and basically hopefully spread some awareness and help growing the hearing awareness and community as best I can.
That's awesome. And you might have to, I might have to, is there a way, are you going to be recording that or anything? Because there's stuff I need to learn, because my organization, we actually directly help people with hearing impairments and stuff like that. So we buy hearing aids, communication devices, and all that. So we're kind of in that same space as well, even though I didn't really think about that connection, but I'm glad we got that. But that's just awesome, man. 700 people.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. And communication obviously is a major part of life. And there's a lot more people out there with hearing deficits than people even know. And yeah, it's still such a kept secret. And I'm trying to just tell my story, whether it's, verbal or whether it's playing sports, trying to play as much in the deaf communities now that I'm retired from baseball.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. You also, obviously you're out of baseball, but because you also played for Canadians national team, or Canada's national team. I always say Canada as a joke, but we'll be official here. So, but like, obviously you didn't give up on baseball. You're done playing, but you're still making an impact and working with your, young people in your community with baseball, because obviously Canada, I got to stop saying Canada is still growing with the baseball aspect. And obviously, to see someone like yourself, if I was a kid in Canada and I saw this action figure with 18 abs and and looked as handsome as you, I would be like, all right, I want to do what that dude's doing. But, explain a little bit what you're doing with your, because you have 2 baseball facilities, right?
Yeah, so myself and Michael Krause, a baseball player you know, with the Blue Jays back in the day, him and I, we started Travail Development, and it's been great. We're starting to grow the baseball community, but not even starting to grow the youth, starting to grow the youth, the little ones, getting them in there early, 4 or 5 years old, just like you'll see here in Canada when it comes to hockey. I mean, the reason we're so successful in that game is these kids they're taking it seriously at 5, 6 years old, getting that functional development early. Their coordination is through the roof by the time they're 7, 8. And I feel like baseball is behind on that in Canada. So we're trying to really get in there early, and really trying to focus on not only creating baseball players, but making sure that they're being multi-diverse in sports, period, in general, playing everything. So we'd love our guys to come out here and start working on more functional based stuff. And it's really been great. It's going well. And you're starting to notice how young kids can really just click on something in such a short time span. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's what's up. I mean, I know I try to share a lot of the knowledge that isn't, put out there on a daily basis, but I think I was reading something about you when you were talking about, you think, and this is common. It's not like you're, an anomaly in this, but most people, when they have maybe a sense, one of their senses isn't where, that most people's are, then another one is stronger. And I noticed, I think you were talking about an article in like 2010 or something about how your sight and how you study the game and all that has been improved, because if you can hear, maybe you wouldn't have focused so much on, knowing what's going on in every situation, because you would have took it for granted. But the fact that you did have some hear loss and hearing impairment, you were able to, okay, now I need to know these situational things with hitting and cutoffs and all that stuff. And that's all that stuff I'm assuming you're sharing with the young crowd, and not just saying, hey, here's how you hit a ball and here's how you throw a ball.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had to adapt and make adjustments differently than, we'll say the normal baseball player in the game. I hate that word, but it's thrown around more than you know. And I always had to know what to do before the ball's coming to me, whether it's the little things in the game, the tangibles, basically other players, their speed and, what they can do, like what their kind of instincts even are in the game, like their baseball IQ. These are things that I really had to, revolve in my mind and always kind of, utilize, because that was the only way I was going to be able to survive amongst, in quote, because I had to do something different. I had to, keep them away from talking about my hearing loss and just keep them talking about, wow, this guy's baseball IQ is through the roof. He's so intuitive and he's always ready to go.
Yeah, that's awesome because, we know as professional baseball players or former professional baseball players, we know how, people talk in that game and, labels get thrown around. So you want to have the good label early on so that it sticks with you through your career. And obviously you played from 2006 to 2018, 2019? It was around the same time I stopped playing, right?
Yeah.
That's
last year for the baseball, the Olympic qualifier was my last stint. Came out of retirement in the summer of 2021.
Dang, that's what's up, man. And obviously you can't just do that if you're not, because I know you're not old. You're a little bit older than me, I think 2 months. But you look like you've kept your body in shape a little bit more than I have. Believe it or not, I got up to 275 pounds, but I'm down to 260 right now.
Boy, good.
But I just walked into the gas station the other day and they had the Halloween pumpkin Reese cups. So then I might be shooting back up to 270. But anyways, man, I kind of just want to talk briefly about your baseball career and kind of hear your point of view about what you thought about your career and, just your experience. And if I'm a young kid at Travell, training academy, what are you telling me? Hey, this is what you need to focus on, in your career, because obviously you've been with several teams. You were a top prospect, and you had obviously talent, and speed and all the stuff. So what are you what are you sharing with with young kids or even high schoolers that maybe come to you and say, hey, Tyson, I know you play professional baseball, but what sticks out to you the most about your career? I know I asked 18 questions there, but.
Well, if you look in the dictionary, the definition of travail, that's what we call it. It means to work, and it also means an unbearable experience, sacrifice, and something as excruciating as women's labor. And so we found that this name was perfect for myself and my business partners' personalities, because what did I have to do to be able to survive in the game, or what did I have to do to make scouts or colleges overlook my hearing losses? I had to work harder than everybody else. I had to make sacrifices. I had to go through the unbearable experiences to be able to just survive amongst the select few that had the opportunity to play such a, difficult game like baseball, let alone professionally. Yeah. And so the things that I teach the youth, and we teach the youth now, is those experiences that you have to go through, the hardships you have to go through, the adversity, and how you have to persevere through different situations in life, not just sports, to be able to build the character you need to, withstand being successful as a human being, not an athlete. So those are the things that we teach kids. It's sports is second. The way you can go into your everyday life and make an impact in this world is everything.
I love that. And one thing that comes to mind with you is, you face adversity, and it's not obviously you've had injuries and stuff like that, but the adversities I'm talking about is you've had people attack your character. And I know that if I ever had someone like that, someone attack my character, no matter what their motivation is, that could lead to, you saying, forget everybody, I'm going to be on my own and I'm just going to, there's a lot of different paths you could have went down, but obviously you've chose to do it the right way and give back to your community. And I'm happy to see that, because I know there's a lot of other people that have made other decisions that didn't work out for them. So good to see what you're doing, man. And, baseball, I loved my baseball career. It's helped me get to where, a lot of places that I am, my job that I'm at now. And it's obviously helped me get into, some places that maybe I wouldn't have been able to get into. So I love it for that. But I also get away from I'm not just a baseball player, So and we kind of have to, exactly. Get outside that. And I love the dynamics that you're bringing to it. And I just wish, to be honest, all the times we got to share together and all the laughs and all the good times, because baseball, this sounds really prima donna, but baseball, there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of stuff. You're just So when you have a good culture, good teammates, good, people that you're around, and you have to choose the right people, because there are some people that you don't want to hang around also in baseball. Luckily we had, good people to hang around and spend a lot of time with. We got Pat down in Florida. He's still doing good, and I'm still staying in contact with him. And that connection was because of you. I never would have known Pat if it weren't for you. So that's the type of stuff where I'm like, man, I just wish people like had the opportunity to just hang with us down in Florida when we were, both injured and going through some adversity. But you never, by the way we carried ourselves, you never would have thought that we were going through injuries and tough times. And that's the other thing, like baseball players outside of baseball, like there's a whole other aspect to us. And like, I just can't wait to see, what you got going on. I want to, continue to kind of check in and, because we haven't done that as much as I wanted. And that's like one of my worst things. Every New Year, I'm like, my New Year's resolution is to text all my friends more often, and I just suck at it. So I'm leaving the ball is in your court. So
hey, that's something I've always made it known is you'll know I'm the type of guy who's always sitting there checking in on people. Hey, remember that time? It's probably one of my most famous things to say. Always remember that time. And it's amazing. There's been so many special friendships, and I wouldn't change it for a thing. Obviously the injuries were crucial and cut my baseball career mighty short, but the relationships that I made in the game, wow, you can't ever replace those.
Yeah. But okay, now I want to get to, just some quick facts about, when you discovered that, hey, something's wrong, I should be able to hear, or I can't, like, because I think it's, what is it? In one of your ears, you have 30% hearing, and one you have 50%, or is it lower than that now? Has it progressed?
Oh, it's probably worse than that. I have a profound loss at about negative 95 decibels. So I'm profound. I'm almost 100% legally deaf. So with my hearing aids out, I can't hear anything. Wow.
And I know a little bit, I don't know if you knew this, but Krista, she has a hearing aid in her right ear, so she can't hear as well. So I think we got her hearing aid in 2016. So obviously we weren't teammates at the time, but it's a challenge. And I kind of want you to talk about quickly, other people in your family who I guess don't understand. Obviously I chose to marry Krista and I love her, but there's sometimes I get frustrated because, she's like, what, all the time. And I kind of forget, like, oh, like this isn't, it's not like she's choosing not to hear me. I know a lot of wives do that, but Krista's actually not choosing not to hear me. But talk about maybe experiences, friends, family members, teammates who kind of, the struggle you've had to go with, where we've had to like, hey guys, like, I want to be included in this. I'm not being, I'm not ignoring you, but this is just something I have to go through. So I'm like, explain a little bit of that dynamic with family members and friends.
I mean, I did such a good job as a young kid. I mean, I was 4.5 when they found out, but it was from birth. And I was already speaking very well. My pronunciation was through the roof, and I was pretty smart. I was already reading lips at 2, and growing up, it was tough. We talk about the labels, and we talk about, being, ignorant, talking about ignoring, like being ignored, and from fans and teammates. I feel like it kind of labeled me very negatively, and it was really tough because if you're beside me or behind me, I can't make out what you're saying. Obviously, I can't read your lips, and my hearing aids at the time, like better technology now, but at the time it couldn't pick up from certain directions with the microphones. Yeah. And I know it was probably frustrating. I know it led to, a lot of difficult situations between, other people in this world. And yeah, I can only imagine like you're experiencing it now, and probably have to ask the question. It can be frustrated, but you can easily forget. And I've done such a good job of just playing it off that people forget on me all the time how severe it is.
I know I was one of them because you read lips so well, I would forget. I'm like, what the heck? But then there was that, I don't know if you remember this story. I don't know if I've shared this on the podcast, but it was that one time where, you were deciding to be a good baseball player and stay home and get some sleep. And I went out And I was like, hey, Tyson, don't lock the door. And I think you locked the door, and I came back because you had my key. And I was like, crap, I can't get in. It was like 2 a.m. But you were like, the vibrations of me pounding on the door, you were able to come and I heard you running with your speed and come open the door. But like, it's just things that we take for granted. I was just like, oh my goodness. But, you know, obviously having a wife who, you know, struggles with hearing, like, yeah, I make jokes every once in a while, but there's serious moments where I'm like, you know, when I'm by myself, I'm like, dude, I gotta be better. Like, you know, it's okay, you know, and she plays along with it, but there's moments where you're like, okay, like I have to really be conscious about this because, you know, there was times when I'm playing baseball for 7 months out of the year and it's just her and my kids at home. And, you know, that being a serious thing, like if someone breaks in or whatever, because she's had someone break in before. Luckily, our kids weren't born before, but that's something that's serious. And I have to, there's something you gotta kind of account for those things. And, you know, it's sometimes all fun and games and you're a positive person all the time. So, you know, people are okay. You know, you're okay. You're not getting frustrated with me when, you know, but I didn't really make jokes about you as much as I do my wife. Yeah. But there's moments when
none that I can hear anyway. So,
but it's something that like, it's a serious thing. And, you know, I don't know if you've ever had to check someone like, hey bro, like, come on, dude. But
every day in the clubhouse, on the field, in life now, it's never ended.
Yeah, I bet. I just want to use this moment as a reminder to people like, hey, you know, it's a serious thing and it's not something that we need to take. There's a lot of things we take for granted that you don't get the pleasure to enjoy. So we want to make sure that we understand that this is a serious thing. And this is also me, you know, trying to suck up to my wife too. So, but
hey, adding on to that, how many times have you saw her laugh and just basically looked at you pretending it wasn't a question? Or laughed and all of a sudden, hey, wait, what did you say?
Yeah, exactly.
Making sure you weren't laughing at one of the worst things.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I love when, you know, someone would come up to you and try to talk to you and you're just like, yeah. And you're really like you could tell they don't really have the best intention. And you're just like, yeah, man, yeah, cool. And then you go about your business. I would just love watching you do that. But
I asked you a question. I was trying to look at the teammate beside me. What did he say?
Yeah. But man, I just, like I said before in the show, man, I just wish people could experience you. But before we go, because it's getting close to time, I just want to talk about, is there anything else you got going on besides obviously these speaking opportunities coming in and, you know, you and Krause's, you know, baseball training business? What else you got going on? Because I know I see a whole bunch of pictures and I know them weren't taken on the iPhone and I know you didn't take them. Are you putting those abs to use or like, what are we doing?
Well, a little hobby of mine, it was getting into more commercial work and getting into print. And yeah, like trying to do any kind of commercial work I can and trying to, who are you saying, get free gear.
Hey, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've done some model work. I won't tell any of you guys in the clubhouse that, but I've done a little bit of model work, a little bit of commercial acting. But I think the biggest thing I have going right now that I really want to work out is to play in the 2024 Deaf Olympics for hockey. Oh, so wow. I did my first stint with Team Canada in Chicago in June. I played against Team USA, and it was an awesome experience to be back on the ice. And yeah, so that's the goal. I'll be training for that and the World Championships, and hope I can put it together and make the squad. But I'm going to be pushing.
That's what's up. I remember that because, you know, I think you got me into, I got rollerblades and we used to rollerblade a little bit. And obviously I'm not on the level that you are. You being from Canada, you're just like, it just looks like you're running. You don't even look like you're trying to skate. It's just natural to you. And I'm just like trying not to fall, you know? But that's awesome, man. I really hope that works out. I'll be looking in and checking that out as well. You know, even though hockey isn't my first sport, you know, choice, it's right under soccer. I don't hate it. I love soccer though. It's not like, I love soccer. Josh is over here laughing. But I went to a Tampa Bay Lightning game. So, I respect all sports, and I know it would just be hard for me to play hockey on asphalt without having to skate, just running and trying to play hockey. So I respect the talent. I just don't have any of it. But that's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I love the aspect of, because I remember the commercial you did back in the day. I don't know if it was for Pepsi or something or what it was, but, and you offered,
Coke Zero.
Yeah. And Coke Zero. And you kind of offered that to me like, hey man, I got, my agent, he can help you get some acting, some classes and stuff. And at the time I was like, dude, I can't do that. I can't even talk in public. And now look at me. So maybe I should have taken your advice, Tyson.
Never know.
Yeah. But also, you said you wanted to, make the hockey team and all that. Is there anything else that in your career, obviously you would love to touch as many lives as possible, many of the youth with your baseball academy, and then and just continue to be an advocate for hearing loss? I mean, is there anything else that you're doing? Because I just want to make sure, because I always want to know what people's career goals are. So I was like, what's Tyson got up his sleeve, man? He's besides, because I know you got your hands in a lot of things, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. But we covered pretty much everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hit it on the nose there, being an advocate in the hearing community. And I'd love to be able to go out there and tell my story on as many platforms and stages as I can to spread awareness the best way I can.
That's what's up. I think that's what everybody should do. And I think people of our age, we kind of recognize it. I just want to make sure that people younger than us, they understand that giving back to the community and making sure that there's a space for you to give back. It doesn't always have to be financial, but if you can spread awareness through, word of mouth or any resources you have access to, that benefits everybody. So, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. We may have to do this again in a year or so, see how everything's doing, catching up. This is I think episode 86. Technically, we're in a new season. I don't know what the new season episode is. It's episode 17 or something. But, we'll have to check back with you. But we always love, when, my friends, teammates are, come on the show. And since I've been doing the pitching tip videos, it's nice to have another baseball player come back on. And, man, like I said, thanks for coming through. And I wish you, prosperity and everything you're doing. and hopefully we can connect again. For some reason,
absolutely.
I thought you were closer Canada to me. You're way over there on the west side in Vancouver, right?
Yeah, way out here, man. We got to get together. We need a reunion. We'll
figure it out. Me and my wife are going on a honeymoon next year that we never took because I'm a moron and a terrible husband. But we're going to take that, and then we're going to make our round trips to all my, worldwide baseball teammates. So you're on that list. You're on that list because you got to see. My kid is
beautiful, man.
Purse is looking like more like you every day. I start to question what's going on, but but no, man. Like I said, and I'll make sure we stay in contact. And I guess the one thing I forgot to do, I always forget to do this, Tyson. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Always forget the YouTuber thing. But make sure you guys also follow Tyson on all the social media. I know he's got Instagram. Do you have Twitter?
Yes, sir.
We're going to link all that in the video description below. So make sure you go follow him. He makes good content. He looks okay. And just get to know more about Tyson and, his story, because I think it's good content. And that's all it's about these days, is making good content, because there's so much, there's so much competitiveness out there for people's eyes and all that. So you got a TikTok?
Oh, I'm trying on this TikTok. struggling pretty good with it, though.
I got to check you out. I'm struggling too. I got to check you out, but awesome, man. Well, without further ado, I'll let you get back to your business. And again, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Oh, you bet, man. It was a pleasure.
All right, we'll see you.
Love and peace.
Yep, love you too, man. Thank you guys for listening. Again, this should be live Tuesday if me and Josh are still doing everything the way we were supposed to. Sorry for the break. It's been a while. It's been, a month? But Josh has been obsessing over these Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson. So, now he's made time for 99 miles per hour. So without further ado, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
It feels like Casablanca. Shawty, you my little